did something really special yesterday for charities in and around San Diego, and I don't want to take any more of his time because I want to get him up here really. Is that okay if we get him up here? Yeah. Can we give him a warm round of applause and welcome to the stage, Mr. Pat Precourt? Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, guys and gals, I know it's late o'clock, it's 7 o'clock at night. We're going to go through this very, very quick, but I promise you'll be very happy that you stayed for this last little segment. I'm going to break it down very quickly. Now, Dan had kind of talked about us doing a little more real estate stuff tonight, and I asked permission not to do that, okay? And there's a lot of stuff in real estate we could talk about because there's so many opportunities out there right now, but I want to feed off a couple other things that I think will benefit you that you can take away that are much greater than how to do real estate. We did do something special yesterday. The last couple days I've been working with our coaching staff, and we, like myself, I always believe that they have to be challenged at a higher level. Everybody needs to be pushed to another level. There's no ability to grow unless that happens. So I asked them to do a task well beyond their comfort zone last night. Now, let me ask you this. How many of you find asking people for money is a tough thing to do? Okay, try doing it on the San Diego streets after businesses has closed, okay? For no better reason than a donation to a foundation that you pick. Our goal, their task went like this. I'm going to tell this is how tonight's going to go. I'm going to tell you about what they did, and I'm going to bring them on in a moment so you can meet them and see the results, an amazing result. But before that, I'm going to tell you a little story, the power of belief. You're going to love this. You see how important your mindset and your belief, like Kent talked about, dictates the outcome and the results of what you desire, that you demand. And we talk about goals and dreams and things like that. For the sake of this conversation, for the sake where we're going to go with this, let's throw all that crap aside for a second. Just talk about results. Not even that we want, that we demand out of life. Like, I need that kind of definitiveness to what we're going to do here. So we had this challenge. I need our coaches to believe in themselves as much as you've got to believe in yourselves. So here's our task, guys and gals. They knew it was coming. They didn't know what it was. Yeah, teased them with it a bit. I said, you have 4 hours to go out in the streets of San Diego and raise $1,000 for charity of your choice. And here's the rules. It cannot come from any known resource. It's got to be a net $1,000, which means if you spend a few $100s to get it, you got to earn $1,000 up and above that. It's got to be done legally, ethically, morally, honestly, and by the letter of the law. And finally, you got to be back by 7:30 or it doesn't count. So they had 4 hours. They had a limitation. Oh, one last thing. Failure is not an option here. There's no excuses for not getting this done. Now, I asked the coaches today, on debriefing of the topic, I said, how many of you liked that task when I brought it up? About 60% of them said, Pat, you know what? We didn't think we could do it. And 100% of them said they didn't want to do it. They're being honest, but it brings up the idea how limiting our own self-beliefs are. They believed it couldn't be done, that we can go out in the streets of San Diego and ask people, complete strangers, for money for no better reason than getting a donation at this point in time. They believed it couldn't be done until we talked about it, and then they started challenging themselves. So it gets a little different once you say failure is not an option. We got a deadline to get this stuff done. It changes the rules of engagement a little, doesn't it? And who wants... I know what a mic is. I had another mic on me. Hang on a sec. I'm going to use the mic. Right. You guys are already a pain in the ass, you know. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to throw that down there. Okay, so before we get on to it just broke like a $500 mic, right? I might need some of those donations myself. Yeah, so... Before we get to that, though, I want to tell a little story, the power of belief. And this is a true story. This happened just a few weeks ago. My son, he's 14 years old, just started high school this year, and he's a freshman. Yeah, of course you're a freshman if you just started high school, right? Funny things you say and you want to take back. So anyways, he's a freshman in high school. It's an all-boys school. And as he joins the wrestling team. He's never wrestled before, but he joins the wrestling team. He's done a little jiu-jitsu before because he likes that, and he joined the wrestling team. And in short order, he was asked to move up to the varsity team because they had an opening at his weight class. Kid's tiny, 106 pounds, soaking wet, wrapped in towels. He's tiny. Happy, you got to figure a varsity team, what kids are still that small? So they got to bring this little freshman up, which they did. And it's a challenge for him, and it will be for a few years, wrestling against kids who've wrestled 4, 6, 7, 8 years already. But that's not really the part of the story tonight. That sets it up, though. So his team was defending, or last year was Double L state champs, which is the largest school system. We go small, medium, large, double large in Connecticut. Double L state champs in wrestling. First time in their short history in wrestling. And now we're at states again. It's the highest championship you can win here. Now, just tell you a little bit about myself and how this all fits in. I fight mixed martial arts myself. Somebody say, yeah, you look like that. That's not a compliment. Just so you guys know, oh yeah, I could have guessed that. Yeah, you look like one of those fighters. It's not a compliment, okay? So, knowing that it's his first year at this school, I didn't want to have any influence on the coach, and he's a wrestler, and I'm a better fighter than he is, so I didn't want to have any influence at all on that. I wanted him to earn his way into the team, which he did. So every time we go to a match, I'd sit way up in the bleachers in the back, I'd put on my like a leather, kind of cool leather vest and a little Andy Cap type rugby cap, because that's where I come from. And I just sat up there and watch. Yeah, like you got on. Shit, that's a nice little cap. Yeah. So and I just watch each match. The kids on the team, thoroughly convinced from the Irish Mafia, scared to death of me. They're afraid they don't know how to interact with this freshman on their team. Like, he's just a little punk freshman, but shit, what if we say the wrong thing? They don't know how to deal with him. It is funny as hell. So I stare up, and just to work it out a little, I stare down the kids as they kind of look. And they turn away and walk away. So you got to live up to what they expect, you know? So anyways, now it's states, and states are a 2-day event, and there's like 25 teams at states. You have to win Friday to compete on Saturday. Now they're number 3 in the state. The only two teams they've lost to are ranked number 1, number 2, and they're going to compete against them on Saturday. I've never spoken a single word to this coach. All of like the day-to-day shit on the team I let my wife deal with the coach. I stayed out of it intentionally. So out of the blue on Friday night after they're done, and they're not at home, they're away, they're down the other end of the state. Kids are staying over. I get a call out of the blue from their head coach. And he goes, hey, this is Coach Cunningham. Hey, well, this is Pat. How you doing, Coach? He says, good. He says, I'm going to be really quick here. He says, is there any chance you could come down and talk to the team tomorrow morning? I said, sure, Coach. What about? You know? Clearly, I don't mind talking, so I'll take him up on the talk part, but what would you like to talk about? Now, mind you, he and I have never spoken before. And this is kind of the funny thing about it. This is how out of the blue this was. He's like, I heard you do that motivational stuff. I'm like, all right, sure. And I'm like, all right, but why do you need me to come down and talk to you? You guys are doing great. You only have 2 losses all year. You're fantastic. So, well, you see, Pat, we lost, I think he said 12 seniors last year. We're good, but we're not good enough to win, and I don't think we can win this year. So I was wondering if you could come talk to the kids. And then it hit me, we got a challenge here. If the coach doesn't believe it, the kids don't believe it. Their chance of walking out victorious are 0. This fight has already been lost before it even started. Like all fights in our lives, these fights are won and lost back at home. They're won and lost in the locker room. They're won and lost in your office. You make decisions before you go out. And if you choose not to make that decision, you're making a decision. You're going to lose that fight. So now I knew it made a whole lot of sense in what I had to talk about. So I said yes, and I went to bed. So the next morning, it's 6 a.m. I get down, I think, 5:45 in the morning. And on the way, I'm driving down. I'm really trying to put together what I'm going to say because, A, they're scared of shit of me, okay? Well, it's a challenge when you have a short opportunity. You've got to open their mind. B, they're sound asleep. They don't drink coffee yet. We just wire ourselves. They don't drink coffee yet. It's first thing in the morning. So in the first 30 seconds of this conversation, I've got to get their attention. I've got to open their minds up to hear what I got to say. Now, the nice thing about talking to kids, unlike all of us, is we have a much greater opportunity to change their belief system. We get stubborn. We're stubborn as hell. We believe in stuff we believe in. We have no better reason to explain why we believe in it other than we believe in it sometimes, right? All right, well, I'll ask you. Who believes Democrats should run our country? Yeah, nobody's raised their hand. Who believes Republicans should run our country? Who comes from the party of all politicians suck? Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, so we are changing some of our belief systems. I just had to throw that shit out there. Because now you're like, so which side does they stand on? Doesn't matter. They all suck, right? So, where was I in my story? So I'm driving down. I'm like, I've got to open up their ears and then their mind in a short period of time. So they're going to buy into this object or they're not. Because right now on paper, and the coach explained a little to me, there's no way they can win. And I watched these matches they lost in, and they were outclassed. Technically, how to wrestle, they were beat on. They were done. They were not going to win this competition. So we've got to do something different. And it's not going to be making them a better wrestler at this point in time. So I rolled into the room and it kind of got their attention. I was there and I said, Coach, just introduce me. Let them know you invited me down there. I'm not like on a hit squad threatening them or something. Let them know you invited me to be here. I got to start at least on an even playing ground here. So he said, okay, I invited Mr. Precourt down to talk to you guys. As you know, he understands what we do very well, and he'd like to say a few words to you. So one of the first things I said, guys, good morning. Thank you for being here. I appreciate the time. I looked at who you're wrestling, and I see who we're wrestling against, and I'm going to tell you, you guys can't win. Yeah. I had to get their attention. Well, you know, just blowing smoke up somebody's bottom ain't going to do nothing for them, quite honestly, right? I had to get their attention right away. I said, you guys can't win on paper. So as far as I'm concerned, we're either going to change something now or you guys might as well pack up and go home. And not a peep out of them. I didn't expect much back from them. I said, but the outcome doesn't have to be that way. It can be different. But what I'm about to tell you is going to go completely against your belief system. It's going to go against what your parents have told you. That goes over well. It's going to go against what your teachers have told you. It's going to go against what Coach Cunningham has told you for your 4 years you've been at this school. I'm going to tell you that to do your best, doing your best, is no longer good enough. You can't do your best and win. You guys have got to do whatever it takes. And let that set in for a minute. And it's kind of a unique situation because there's a dead silence. The kids are starting to perk up a little, come alive a little. And I wait a little longer. I said, do you guys understand what I just said? You can change the outcome here, but it's not going to change unless you choose it to change. I'm telling you, the decision's already made. You're going to lose this match out there today unless you do something different. It's going to take you to do whatever it takes. And you've got to make that decision here, not now. They have nothing to do with this equation. And this is no different than every obstacle we challenge in our lives every single day. The player is not our competition. Our competition's sitting home right here. Our competition's sitting right here. It's not how you do it. It's not what you do, it's why you do it. The why behind it all. And Ken talked a lot about that. So you guys got to make this decision. Now, let me ask you this. If I tell you can change the outcome, if I tell you that you can win this before we walk out, who's willing to do what it takes? Are you guys willing to do whatever it takes, Kirk, to walk out of here? Are you going to do whatever it takes? Absolutely. You will do whatever it takes. And will you do whatever it takes to win today? And will you do whatever it takes to walk out here victorious? It's 2 years in a row defending state champs. Because you guys have got to make that decision now, not later. It's not about them, it's about you. Your entire outcome is going to be made or break right here. All of us together. You and I, before we walk out. What's it going to be? What's it going to be? So, I'll fast forward to the end of the story. February, I think it was the 19th, 2012. 2 years defending state champs. Yeah. Now, the moral of that story, okay? The moral of that story is getting into these kids and allowing their belief system to change. They believed, based on what I set in their brains, that they could do this. No longer did they see the barriers that these kids were better than them. No longer was the barrier that they've already gotten beaten by the same damn kids. That didn't stop them any longer. And I'm going to leave this with you guys as we bring up our coaches here, okay? Every battle you take on is no different. On paper, you may not win it, but you can still win it if you choose it, if you commit to doing whatever it takes. Now, that's a story I also told our coaches before we went out to raise money last night. Are you surprised that they raised over $10,000? Woo! Over $10,000 Yeah, in 4 short hours. Guys, why don't you all come up here? Come on up here, guys. Yeah, give them a round of applause. That's a pretty ballsy result. For them, yeah. Everybody says how hard it is to get things done this day. Yeah, flood the stage, love it, love it. Now, what I'd like to do is we're filling. I'd also like to invite up a special guest. Now, this wasn't planned, okay? This is kind of like one of those little bonuses that you get, okay? Look at that wad of money, okay? Check that shit out. Now, we'd like to do a little presentation here. Can I get our guests up here? I know they're floating. There they come. Guys, give these guys from the Warrior Foundation a round of applause. Now, you talk about heroes. And where's Steve Hall? You come up here, Steve. You hold on to that, brother. You guys come right up in front for me. Right up in front for me here, yeah. Right up in front here for me, yeah. And one of our standing, walking, wounded warriors. Fantastic, yeah. One of our teams chose their foundation last night as their cause, okay? And they raised out, and I'm gonna allow the honors of Steve to hand this over. They raised $2,300 alone for this one fantastic cause. What I'd like to do, this gentleman right here is actually one of the recipients of this program, and I'd like you to say a word of.
How y'all doing? Good. All right, I'll try to make this brief. One bourbon, one shot, one beer is going to run this program for me. So, all right, the Warrior Foundation. Let me tell you a little bit about them. I myself am a wounded warrior. Got injured in combat in 2007. I woke up with my right leg in my lap and lost my ability to speak, be cognitive, whole 9 yards. Brain injury, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. So I do a bunch of years of treatment, didn't walk for about 2 years, learned how to speak again and articulate. Couldn't get over the ugliness, but I still got the basis, okay? She's been helping me, but makeup's just not my thing. So, long story short, I've seen numerous foundations and programs. I got to San Diego probably in my third and a half year treatment, right when I just got upright and started walking again. I was probably as big as a house at the time. So sitting in a wheelchair forever, and Twinkies and Ho-Hos will do that to you. But the Warrior Foundation was there from the very beginning, okay? As my treatment progressed, I was asked to become platoon sergeant for the service members that were injured within the Warrior Transition Unit that I was in. So not only was I wearing the hat of being a wounded warrior, going through treatment, I was also charged with the responsibility of managing other wounded warriors. It got simplified based off of what these folks do for us. You know, we got people with brain injuries that needed to remember their appointments. Warrior Foundation squared us away with PDAs, okay? We needed sleep issues to be resolved. Warrior Foundation helped us out with sound machines, along with the treatment and numerous meds that we got through the hospital. Anything that we needed, the Warrior Foundation was there for. And it all started with saying, hey, these guys need a razor, okay? And I won't get into that story, it's way too long. So, that being said, the Freedom Station is something that was set up recently. Okay, Freedom Station is a set of cottages, 8 cottages, okay, that was put up together for these warriors that transition. So what happens is these great Americans go into combat and they get injured, whether it be a brain injury, post-traumatic stress disorder, amputations, double amputations, triple, and so forth. We have all of that going on here in San Diego, okay? Well, when they get out of the military, they're not going to remember how to act before they joined, based off of brain injuries and so forth, and the training that we do. This place takes care of them. They give them a place to stay, teach them how to transition, If they have problems, they can come up to our mother, learn how to balance a checkbook, whole 9 yards. And then they release us out of the nest, and they send us on our merry little way, and we just become citizens of this great country. So with that being said, these folks here decided to select this foundation. And as I am not affiliated so much with the foundation, I am a wounded warrior, I do reap the benefits of what this foundation has done for the troops. And what I wanted to say is thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you so much to these folks here for selecting this foundation that takes care of the wounded warriors. And this is a real wounded warrior telling you where these folks' money is going to go.
Thanks for stopping. He is an amazing American. He's an amazing American. He taught himself to walk and talk, and he takes care of other injured warriors. I just wanted to share with you that Warrior Foundation works with 4 different groups of warriors. We'll get a call that says we've got boots in the air. That means we've got a seriously injured warrior coming home from battle. The Warrior Foundation finds out where that mom and dad lives, and if the government isn't moving fast enough, we fly that family here. By the time their son or daughter arrives at Miramar Marine Air Base, we put them in a big white Navy bus, just like in MASH, and we bring them over to the hospital. And I've watched the staff sergeants climb on board that bus and say, welcome home to the United States. Welcome to San Diego. And if need be, sit that warrior up so that he can see his mom or dad at the end of that bus. That's America. We provide those family members with hotels and rent-a-cars, in short, anything they need, so that all they have to do is get their warrior back on his or her feet. The second group that we work with are the warriors that suffer from PTSD. Just like Jonathan, we provided laptops, voice recorders, iPads, noise machines, in short, anything that helps them to deal with their recovery of their memory loss. The third group, and this is the group that's nearest and dearest to my heart, are the warriors that are up at the barracks area. They're not in a hospital. They're learning to use new arms and legs. Some of these warriors have enough hardware in their bodies to be your front door. These warriors learn to use new arms and legs, and we provide everything we can quality of life-wise by working with the staff up at the hospital to get them what they need. Our warriors receive 5 legs. If you're a double amputee, you receive 10. This is just one small thing that we provide. These legs do everything: rock climb, running, snowboarding, surfing, but they don't point. And so our warriors want to be in a complete uniform. A Marine has to have a sense of pride, a soldier and a sailor. Well, it's a dead giveaway you're an amputee if you're wearing a gym shoe. So I said, put a zipper up the back of the boot. Well, you'd have thought I told the Marines to tear down the Statue of Liberty. We're desecrating their boot. Well, we got it cleared up through Quantico, and we get these guys boots. And I'm telling you, it gives that 20-year-old back his military bearing. And the last group that we work with is the group that is told that they're no longer going to be able to be a Marine or a sailor or a soldier. And that's a very hard day on these men that have given their all for our country. We move these warriors into Freedom Station before they get out of the military. It's very easy to transition once you've been let go, but let's move them in before they get out. If you get your last check in August and your VA check doesn't kick in for 6 months, I don't know too many landlords that are going to let you stay there. We've got our warriors covered. We've got their 6. We move them in before they get out. The government bus picks them up, takes them up to the hospital. They get dressed in their uniform, go up to formation, and they kind of get a chance when they come home to detune, to become a Mr. or a Mrs. from a Lance Corporal or a Corporal. It gives them that chance to change before they get out of the military. And if we can get them to become amazing citizens, just as they were amazing warriors, I think that this is going to revolutionize how we transition our warriors. And San Diego and all of you are helping to make that happen. Thank you again so much. Thank you.
Thank you much. Hey, Steve. Steve, why don't you present to them, well, you go ahead and present to her, to Sandy, the money here.
Yeah, just really quick, representing the coaching staff here, we've been here for a couple of days learning all kinds of great things from Pat, Bob, and the Fortune Builder staff. And so we were fortunate to really be the facilitators, but a lot of you in this room really contributed to what we're going to be giving the Warriors Foundation tonight. So I really want to thank all of you for contributing, okay? Thank you. So what I'd like to say is, one of the reasons why we're up here and we're involved with the Fortune Builders Group, it's great that our company can help make our lives better, but this is one of the reasons why we love what we do, is because we're able to contribute to the lives of others positively. So we thank you very much. Okay. Thank you.
All right, guys, thank you very much. All right, Coach. Listen, guys, I want to thank you for staying so late. It's 20. I invited the Warrior Foundation to hang out with our socials we're having right outside here, okay? All our coaches are going to join us as well, so you're amongst a powerful crowd. But, guys, thank you very much for today. Bye-bye. Yeah, not you. Hey, no, we're done. We're free to go. That was. Yeah.
Well, what we got is we have a networking party next door. Just really quickly, you guys are all invited, and we have we have drinks set up, just fun stuff, cash bar out there. Really quickly, while everyone's trickling out. I don't know if Pat kind of said anything, but all of these folks that you see here are Mastery alumni and coaches. Take the opportunity to meet them. It's pretty amazing over the past few years what these individuals have done and how they've grown their business. So we'll see everybody next door. We start at 9 a.m. tomorrow. 9 a.m. tomorrow. So we will see you tomorrow. We'll see you at the party.